you have it, the beginning of Lockhart Police Detective. As promised, we have the producer, director, what else? Creator, writer? What all did you do? Mike Higgins is here with us. You did it all.
Most everything.
Tell us a little bit about how this all began. I know that this kind of sprung from a idea from a short clip that got done at some point, but just give us a little bit of background if you can.
Yeah, about almost a couple years ago, I guess. I do awards video for our awards every year, and I did some little takeoffs and had some real good music, and talked to Randy Lockhart about maybe trying to do a 60-second clip. And so we put it together, edited it and everything, and it was just basically he drives up in a car at night and has the old 40s style detective music, and he walks up, and then there's a lady in a red dress walks up and gives him a big kiss, and he does the dip, and when he brings her back up, it's another detective with a mustache.
How did you choose him of all the people in the department? What was the connection that you thought he'd make a good comic person?
Well, not really so much comic as he has kind of a dry wit to him. He just has the look, the aura, I guess, just something that I liked about him.
And how did you choose your co-star, who I think really actually makes the video, in my opinion?
Well, I think both of them make the video, but Randy agreed to do it, and we were wanting a sidekick, or I decided I wanted to have a sidekick for him, and I thought that Jim Sumrall's always been known for being, I guess, less than tall. But I thought that with Randy being as tall as he was, he's like 6'4", and Jim being like 5'6", that their height right off the bat made a comic impression. And then they both, they used to be partners, and so that they just kind of played off of each other, and kind of comic relief, and just kind of went from there.
This is an effort in comedy, obviously, but for some years you've had a relatively, I guess, serious side business in video. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, in fact, years ago, before I went to college, I wanted to get into television production and wasn't able to, and so my second idea was becoming a cop, and I got into police work.
Second choice, huh?
So
For a lot
don't get as paid much as a TV director, but anyway.
How long did it actually take you to do this, and it lasts how long, 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's almost a 30-minute video. We had to, of course, with our work schedule, working full-time at the police department. At that time, I was in detectives, and we, you know, our work schedule's 8 to 5, and normally we don't get off at 5. We may have to work late or something. So had to work around my schedule, Randy's and Jim's, and plus any other actors that we had at the time. So, you know, we would have maybe one evening a week or one day a week. One Saturday we shot the lake scene and some other scenes most of that day. So just trying to work around everyone's schedule.
Did it turn out to be, as these things sometimes do, did it turn out to be a lot bigger job after you started doing it than you thought going in? Shooting a 20-minute, 30-minute video won't be any big problem?
Well, I kind of had an idea it was going to be a lot of work, and just Randy and Jim didn't have any idea that it was going to be that much work. And doing it for free, you know, it's
So what's been the reaction from people in the department and also out of the department to the video?
Well, we had our premiere last week down at the community center, and you know, everyone laughed where they were supposed to laugh, and everyone enjoyed it, and that's the main thing, I guess, just that people enjoy the video. And I've heard of, since then, there have been little mini showings during lunch or something, and people just really get a kick out of it. So,
well, I've seen a little bit of it, and I think it actually fits right in with our show right here. So
that level of humor is certainly welcome here. We've seen the intro. We've talked about it. If you can, we're going to see a little segment out of the actual video. We're going to see a clip and set up for us the scene. I guess it has to do with the detectives responding to a bank robbery.
Yeah, it's the whole video occurs in one day. And, you know, like on TV, the TV shows they solve all this crime in one day. So that's why.
So it's just real accurate, then.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, they're out driving after investigating a case earlier, and they hear a call go out about a bank robbery nearby, and so they decide to respond to that.
All
and
right.
the scene is that they've just driven up on the
Gotten to the
outside
bank
of the
while
bank.
the robber's still inside, I assume.
Right.
Well, as we love to say, Spence, roll the tape.
What are you doing? I want to see. Get over here. side, bud. Other side.
He ain't in there, big buddy.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He ain't. I'd bet my paycheck on it.
It's a bet.
Jesus, cops.
Go out the back, little buddy. Let's go. There he goes.
I get him.
What are you doing?
He scared me.
What?
He scared me.
Sick him, son. Give me a hand, little buddy.
Thank you, man.
Excuse me there, bud. Excuse me. Paycheck, pal.
Oh, man.
Paycheck.
Wow.
So, as usual, they get their man.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about what kind of budget did you have to have in place before you could embark on a filmmaking effort of this?
Still working on that.
Still working on the budget end of it.
I've mainly have my own camera, lighting, and that sort of equipment, but I don't have the editing equipment. And in fact, I've used a place, Advanced Communications here in Arlington. The editor there we get along real well. We just seem to really gel together, and he and I did the editing for it. And right now I'm still working part-time jobs and paying for it. I've got it paid everything off except the editing. I'm still working on that. So, you know, Ranger games and such.
Well, let's try to sell a few tapes. Show people the
Sure.
stuff, and tell us how they can, if they want a copy of this soon-to-be Oscar-nominated film, how do
It's on its way.
how do they get a
Oscar-nominated.
copy?
Yeah. Well, if they'd like to get a copy, you can send it to Bluebonnet Video Productions at P.O. Box 520. It's in Crowley, Crowley, Texas 76036. And it's $18 and then $2 for the shipping and mailing.
That makes 20.
20.
Nice, easy round number.
That's very good. And the one thing, though, that I did notice in that, I guess you're paying homage to the great directors like Hitchcock and everything. Who was that who was playing the cop there?
We saw a
Some guy
cameo
just
there,
came up.
just a cop off the street.
Yeah. I
We
need
noticed
to
you
know.
use special effects, too. I know every great movie has special
Oh.
effects, and the only way Sumrall could have gotten over that fence was with some special effect to get
Crane,
him,
probably.
Yeah, get him up over that fence. And
That
I
was a
didn't
real
even see any
special effect.
wires or anything
Excellent.
attached to
Well
his,
done.
attached to his deal. You have some other things here. Show us what else this has spawned a whole industry. I mean,
Man.
it's got a whole Lockhart industry going.
I thought since we were having the special movie, you know, we ought to have souvenirs and things. You know, I've got the Lockhart coffee mug. One of our officers, Dan Whittington, who's an artist, I know Dee knows him, had him do this caricature of him, and it fits pretty well. Everyone who sees it says, yeah, that's him right off the bat. We got some little koozie coolers, has our little logo badge
For
on
a cool
it.
beverage if a person wanted to have something
Yeah,
like
whatever
that.
cool beverage you'd like to have.
Yeah, I see you've had your eye on that for a while.
Yeah, I've got my eye on that.
Speaking of which.
Yeah.
And
It is getting late.
we also had an enlargement done of Dan's drawing with kind of colorized it a little bit. And then I had the photo of Randy drawn for a poster size, just like they have on the real movies.
All right.
And I'd like to give this to you with my
An
autograph
Oh,
to Dee and Gary. Thanks.
Oh.
We never
Thanks
get
a lot,
anything on
Randy.
this show,
That's
Mike.
great.
That's
But, you
incredible.
can have
Man, we'll have that
in fact, here,
framed.
if you would like to scoot.
Oh, man. You know, how long we've been doing this? It's the first time I ever got anything.
The guy that we had on that cooked the firehouse recipes didn't even leave us a piece of pie.
That's right.
Remember that? It was terrible.
Once again, this is quite a moment.
It is. It is. Well, Mike, it's been a lot of fun. We hope that you have great success.
If I could say,
Lockhart, buddy.
have some other serious projects in mind. One of them, a movie as such about our two officers who died in a car wreck a few years ago.
Thanks again for being here. We'll return in just a moment after this. Welcome back. Well, you've now met the man who conceived it and made it. Now you're going to meet the two guys that starred in Lockhart Police Detective. We've got Randy Lockhart, Jim Sumrall. Guys, thanks for being here. Randy, did you ever dream when you started being a cop however many years ago you'd someday have a movie that was named after you, that a movie was going to be made about your police career?
No, I didn't. I'll tell you how this all kind of came about was that a couple of years ago during one of the awards banquets, Mike Higgins and another guy I work with and a female detective, we made a little little spoof about the anti-smoking campaign of the city of Arlington. So that's how this all kind of got started, and that's where the trench coat and the straw hat came from and everything. So Mike, in his brilliant brainchild, came up with a full-length 20-minute movie, or a 30-minute movie, whatever it was, and that's how it all kind of got started.
Jim, how did you get roped into this out of this humble beginning that we started from? How did you get roped into the sidekick co-star role?
Well, somehow in Mike's belief, he thinks it looks funny for Randy and I to be standing beside each other.
What would ever...
I don't see the humor in it myself, but that's what Mike came up to me and said, hey, I got Randy in the movie, and I want to make you a sidekick. Y'all look good together. Kind of a Mutt and Jeff type situation. So I said, okay, let's go for it.
You weren't worried about not being perceived as a serious police detective anymore?
Not at all. Not especially after I saw the video. I made the comment that it should be renamed Detective Lockhart and Stooge.
I understand, Randy, there were some changes that had to be made in the script when it first came out.
To put it in a nutshell, he's kind of dull. He's got a strange sense of humor. I mean, he does an Elvis impersonation, but if you ever rode around with him at 8 hours in a day, he might say 10 words, So his comedy background is a little lax, I guess you could say. So me and Jim, we'd take the original script and say, no, this ain't going to work, and so we'd just we ad-libbed the entire movie.
So the script went out the window pretty quick? Is that how
Well,
it worked?
the basic concept was there, but the words were not. No, Mike had this idea that we were going to be a kind of a Batman-Robin type scenario, and when I started reading the words holy this, or I was going to say holy DNA, or those kind of comments, I said, Mike, this is not going to work. I am not going to say those words. You can't make me. I said, the end of this movie is coming to a close right now. But he worked with us and let us say what we wanted to say.
So despite the outward appearances, I mean, you still had some pride left, despite how it appears to everyone.
Very shallow amount still left.
How has this changed your guys' lives, Randy? I mean, relatively, I mean, you've worked high-profile crimes for years. You've worked homicide. You've worked sexual assault. You've been a part of the Hagerman Task Force. Right. So we're not talking about, a low-profile guy to begin with. But how has this changed your life? I mean, to suddenly be a star.
A lot of ragging at work nowadays. People are, of course, the movie star thing and, all that other sort of stuff. And I need your autograph sort of deal and all that other sort of thing. But primarily just a lot more harassment from my so-called good buds at the PD.
Jim, tell us a little bit about the world premiere. I know that was heavily hyped, and it came off, supposedly was a lot of fun. Just give us, the people that didn't know about it, tell a little bit about what happened at the world premiere.
Well, we had a limo set up, service through one of the officers at the PD was going to escort us to the premiere. Unfortunately for him, he didn't realize that there wouldn't be anybody out there in the parking lot waiting on us. So that went over real well. And
Well, that's because they were still looking for somebody that had a good flashlight that had a battery in it so they could shine on us like a spotlight.
right. So, and then I got called on a late call. I knew I was supposed to be in there at 7 o'clock, and I work over at the Alliance for Children's Center, so I was stuck on a call. And I got there about 3 or 4 minutes after 7, and the sun was still shining. I didn't even think about it, but I come in there with my sunglasses on, and they made the comment that I was fashionably late wearing my stylish glasses. But
Looking like a real movie star.
right. So I mean, it was all coincidental in my part. Trust me. And
No, nobody buys that, do they?
but before
Everybody, you're the only guy I know that wears your sunglasses at midnight.
But like I said, when we went inside, it was already everybody was ready, and
They're waiting on you.
yeah,
Well, that was a good movie star deal.
newspaper people wanting to talk to us, and I was going, my goodness, Mike, what have you done to us?
Despite how bad we rag on Mike, he's a great guy, and
Yeah, super good
we
guy.
enjoyed visiting with him, and we'll look forward to the movie playing in VCRs near you everywhere, right?
All 4 of them.
All right. We want to thank Jim Sumrall and Randy Lockhart for being here. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Dee, unbelievable. Unbelievable show. I think that this has set a new standard, which is pretty easy to do for us, but
Well, the only thing I'm worried about is how will we follow it up. I mean, when you have every show looks for a blockbuster season premiere, and I think we've pulled it off, but now we'll just have to try to come back and do something else.
yeah, I don't know. It's probably downhill from here, but how can you get any lower? I don't know.
But then again, you're used to that.
Yeah, it's-
Going downhill is a way of life. We want to thank everyone for being with us. We certainly appreciate the Lockhart participation from all those guys.
Fabulous.
They're-
Fabulous that they took time out of their busy schedules. And let me say this, they did not neglect their actual police duties to come here today.
Exactly, and they were good sports, and I think to even undertake that is understanding you're going to take some serious grief when you're in the occupation that we're in. At least somebody else in the departments will be getting grief besides you and I from that.
That's a kind of a thrill right there.
It's a little bit of a comfort. But as always, we thank you for being with us, and we hope to see you next month when we do show number 2 of the brand new season, and we'll try to hang on to the new set. We'll try not to lose any of this stuff.
Very excited.
All right. We'll be back next time. Thanks for being with us.